So,
Hi,
hi, you are Marti Matulis.
I am.
And you played Vane
I
in
did.
The Mandalorian.
Yes.
So you are an actor, and you do like prosthetic makeup sort of work mainly. How do you get into that? Where did it all start? Did anyone inspire you?
I, from a very young age, always loved makeup and would create things on my face for Halloween, ripped flesh or vampires. I wasn't that much into horror I was very much in the Star Wars world as a fan kid, but would always do stuff with makeup for Halloween. So at some point when I was training to be an actor, went on a couple of panel calls for certain projects and finally got aligned with a Star Trek show. And because of that association, then got to work on the next one, which was a makeup effects show. Started meeting the makeup artists. And then once you're in that kind of world of the makeup artists, they like the certain body types and people who can act. So the work continued from there. Yeah.
So how does having all the prosthetics on affect your acting?
It's a different challenge every single time, depending on the character, depending on the thickness of the makeup or how I'm able to move or not to move. So it's one of the things I love the most is that I get to play very distinctly different characters every time. And I get to figure it out as the makeup is actually being applied more often than not.
So let's go to Vane. How long did it take to, get into costume, makeup, all that stuff?
Vane is pretty quick. He's about I think we got him to hour and 15 minutes, hour and a half. He's a head, face, cowl, and then wardrobe. Everything else is wardrobe. So it's pretty quick to get into, very, very comfortable to wear, and
Really?
surprisingly, well, relatively speaking. I would say if you've never done it before, you might go out of your mind. That's a little claustrophobic feeling, but compared to some of the other things I've worn, he's not restrictive, and it was very easy to act in him.
Tell me about your work on The Mandalorian. On the set, I've heard that they used the volume. What was practical? What was CGI? What was volume? Tell me about it.
For the stuff I did in The Mandalorian, we were on the Navarro stage, the exterior stages, and then for the flying stuff, the two fight scenes, we were on a green screen stage. So actually, I didn't get to work on the volume.
Okay.
But I did get to go look because I'm obsessed with the technology. Obsessed. So every time we were doing anything and there was a break, I was asking, like, can we go look at the volume? I was nerding out, wanting to go see the volume. So they did take me in. I got to see a few things from the episode with the geneticists, where they were kind of in that courtyard area with the apartment buildings around them. They were just working on that shot. So they were practicing, putting elements here, adjusting color. So that was my first experience with it. But as you know, as we just saw, they just had a little teaser for another show
At Star Wars Celebration.
at Star Wars Celebration, where we are at for Skeleton Crew. And I think a certain knobbly-faced pirate might have shown his face in that. And because of that, I can say that I do have experience working on the volume because it was in volume in that show. We were on the volume most of the time for that.
So for Vane, he had like a sort of British accent.
Heavy on the ish.
Yeah. No, I'm kidding. It was great. Did you have any sort of training, or was that ADR, or was it all just on-set impromptu?
Greef Karga, my old friend. I knew you wouldn't insult us. Come, join us for a drink.
That was on set. That was the decree in the casting for him, is that he was a space pirate and he was British. So they didn't specify what type of British, so I went to a friend of mine, recorded her voice, threw in a little dollop of Russell Brand, mixed in a smattering of Jack Sparrow's British, and he kind of just came out how he came out at that time. But no official training. I was listening to Disney's records of their animated films as a young child, and I was listening to things like Robin Hood. So I had a variety of British accents that I was mimicking at age 5. So I have a little bit of that like desire and ear for it as a musician as well. The ear is always trying to pick up those things, and so I relish the opportunity to mangle the British accent as much as I could.
So let's do some quick fire questions.
Yeah.
I've given them some people. You tell me what they were like.
Okay, great.
So, what was Carl Weathers like? You're in a scene, but
Amazing. amazing. Carl was fantastic. First guy, are these quick fire or you want like a full answer? Because
Give me, we're on set, but keep it.
first guy I met, and he wanted to run lines all the time. He was very much into the acting, the craft of it. He was great. Love Carl.
Did you ever meet Jon Favreau or Dave Filoni?
Dave was not there, was hoping to. John was. He was on set the first day as we were setting up the scene and blocking, and he was the one who informed me that Vane was not going to die at the end of that first scene as originally planned.
Right, that was originally planned then.
I was a one and done day. I was supposed to be there for one day.
I mean, I bet you're glad.
Ta-da! Thank you.
How
Tom.
about the director, Rick?
Rick was fantastic. Love Rick. I'm not going to have any bad things to say about anybody. Rick, kind of a similar energy, similar way of communicating, so loved him as a director. He was basically ideal for an actor's director.
Now, I'm sure you got to see Grogu.
I did. They wheeled him out in his little pram. I asked if I could go talk to him, and someone reminded me that I was sharing a scene with him, so that, yes, it would be okay. And I walked over all done up his Vane, started inspecting him, and then they see you coming, they who control him. So as soon as I walked over, he just came to life, and I was no longer looking at the thing they wheeled out, I was looking at Grogu. He was adorable.
And you talk about anyone in the skeleton crew, or is that all like,
I'll have to consult my NDA, but I think other than the fact that I'm involved in it, I can't really speak too much towards it, but that it was also a phenomenal experience, and we'll see, I think, more of Vane than we did in The Mandalorian.
and I mean, it just must be surreal. It's so cool,
You're in Star Wars, you've got like a Lego figure of yourself.
I'm
You're
so
dogfighting
excited
the
about that.
Mandalorian.
Yeah,
I mean, what's
it's a
that
gift.
like for you?
It's an absolute gift. I was 7 years old when Star Wars came out. It was my and my friend's entire life. That's just what we did. We would go play Star Wars after school. So to be involved now, this amazing family, the fan base is the warmest and friendliest and largest I've ever seen. It's an absolute treat.
Awesome. So what are your future ambitions? What's next for you, Marti?
Just live in the Star Wars world forever. Put up
I
a
mean, you
hammock
can't
on the
beat that.
volume, never leave. I tried. I did ask if I could just roll out a bag and just sleep there overnight, but not yet. I don't have that cachet just yet.
Any other films coming out or TV shows that you can talk about?
Nothing currently. Definitely on a break right now. Coming here to visit this amazing event. And yeah, that's about it. I can't think of anything that I'm at liberty to divulge.
So finally,
Yes, sir.
let's say someone wants to go into the early industry.
Yeah.
What just offhand advice would you give to them?
Study, 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 and not just acting or not just makeup. Depending on what you want to do, the more well-rounded you are, I think the more chances for success that you have. Like, I didn't intend to go into this kind of creature suit world. I was studying to be an actor. I was a photographer and a musician, and I would film and edit as well. So all of the things around the entirety of cinema or television, great to know as much as you can to be as well-rounded as you possibly can.
Right, that makes sense.
So what's it like being
Being at Star Wars Celebration.
It's a madhouse. There's so many people here. It's great. I can't wait. I bought my ticket as a fan. I'm hiding out as a fan. I intend to buy a few toys while I'm here. Find my posters down at wherever they hide the posters. Yeah, fully just enjoy it.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much for your time. It's been a pleasure. And we look
Likewise.
forward to seeing you in Skeleton Crew.
Thank you.